42,500 accidents happen every year at road junctions. None of them need happen if all drivers had good manners and followed the Metropolitan Police driving school system of car control and thinking ahead.
I'm going to turn right at the road junction ahead. Looking in the mirror, one vehicle behind. Motorcycle is on the near side, moving out signal onto course. I'm now in the correct position of the road. Slowing down signal, watching vehicles coming towards me. Bringing the arm in, I'm now progressively breaking the speed down to the correct speed to negotiate the junction safely and into second gear. Directional signal hand, turn to the right. Hand comes in, supplemented with the trafficator. Ease off the accelerator a little now for vehicles on the right and for those approaching. I have given them plenty of warning that I'm turning right. I've got to stop owing to two vehicles approaching me. Vehicles now come through, increasing the acceleration progressively into the junction, increasing the acceleration, building up the speed.
In other words, always think ahead and be in the right place on the road at the right speed and in the right gear. Here's a driver who thinks driving is just too easy. He has a clear road ahead, so why should he worry? Thoughtless driving causes over 12,000 accidents a year. Yet all could be avoided by gentlemanly behavior and learning to think ahead as drivers at the Metropolitan Police driving school are taught.
I'm traveling in a busy shopping centre with a number of vehicles parked on either side of the road. There's a road junction on the right. One vehicle coming up behind me, one in front. Looking at the vehicles on the near side, particularly for pedestrians who may suddenly step out for vehicles moving away from the curb. There's one vehicle with his wheels turning out. Slowing down signal, braking, hooter, he stopped. Now accelerate away, keeping a reasonable distance behind the vehicles in front.
No fuss and no danger, because the driver was always thinking ahead, and his car was always in the right place on the road, at the right speed and in the right gear. How often do we see this sort of madness? Overtaking like this on the brow of a hill. Dangerous overtaking causes nearly 11,000 accidents a year. And yet all could be avoided if you have good driving manners and learn to think ahead like the drivers at the Metropolitan Police driving school are taught.
A small van in front. Mirror, nothing immediately behind. Now I can see a sports car coming up very fast. Hope he isn't going to overtake on the brow of this hill. Good man, he's tucking in behind me. Now I'm too near to the brow to pass. I'll stay behind the vehicle in front, holding back, judging speed and distance, waiting for the opportunity to go through and overtake. Into a lower gear, increase the acceleration, closing up now on the vehicle in front. Waiting for the opportunity to overtake. I can see the road opening in front of me now. There's a good opportunity coming after the vehicle approaching, moving out signal and overtake immediately after this car. Pick up the acceleration now and overtake with firm acceleration. Move into the near side and allow the sports car to pass.
Remember, you will be safe if you are always in the right place on the road, traveling at the right speed, in the right gear, and are always thinking ahead. This driver is asking for trouble. 5,000 accidents a year through following too closely, 5,800 for swerving without warning, and 2,500 for failing to stop at a pedestrian crossing. And yet all could be avoided by good manners and learning to think ahead, as drivers at the Metropolitan Police driving school are taught to do.
Busy shopping centre, pedestrian crossing ahead. Woman with pram entering crossing. Van braking, slowing down signal to the vehicle behind me. Braking the speed down, stopping behind the van. Crossing is now clear, van is moving off. Keeping a reasonable distance behind the van for good vision on either side of the road. Van is pulling into the curb.
And away safely, because the car was always in the right place, going at the right speed, in the right gear, and because the driver was always thinking ahead. A straight road, high speed, an empty passing lane, and then two cars decide to overtake. They race for a gap that doesn't exist for both of them. Nearly 15,000 accidents happen every year because drivers misjudge speed and distance. And yet all could be avoided by gentlemanly behavior on the road and thinking ahead as drivers at the Metropolitan Police driving school are taught.
Looking ahead, there's one vehicle coming towards me, followed by others. I'm closing up on the vehicle in front, which I'm going to overtake. As I can't overtake safely through this gap, I'm holding back, judging the speed and distance of the other traffic in front of me. I am now accelerating and closing the gap. A moving out signal for the vehicle behind. Vehicle number 2 is coming through the gap. Now increase the acceleration and overtake with firm acceleration. Don't be the meat in the sandwich.
Think ahead, and you won't be caught out by the madman, because your car will always be in the right place, traveling at the right speed and in the right gear.